Matt Linehan, Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Showtime Sonny Edwards. Sonny, battle wounds on your face, not long after fighting, having a bit of, obviously, downtime now. How are you feeling?
Sorry, I can't get over what you said before you just started pressing record.
Which bit?
You've got me paranoid over my shot now. Like,
You have. Can the light go down? Can you do this? What?
that is like a sentence I don't think I'd ever think I'd hear.
You try to be professional, piss balling about with lights, and now I'm like, is this as good as it was?
But how are you blaming me? Like, did you not like? Where's the accountability? Oh, you're getting me paranoid about my shot.
We did a little bit, but we're here now. Look, how are we?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
No problem. Let's come to the fight. Let's just dive straight in on it. I watched the interview you did with Colm at IFL TV, and you almost seemed a bit despondent and a bit like, there's always something that happens, whether it's a cut, whether I have to win a world title in front of nobody, and this, that, and the other. And I'm a 12-round fighter. You seemed a bit down on the whole thing, but you put on, from what I could have seen, a dominant performance. Obviously, shit happens in terms of the cut, but what was your emotions initially like after the fight? Have I got that right?
I don't know. I think I was caught then straight after the fight in a bit of a, I don't know, like a high emotion moment, I guess. I was really disappointed how the fight ended. I was boxing under instruction and well within myself. I was giving my opponent, in my opinion, respect that he didn't really deserve. I knew I was levels above him in every moment of being in that ring. I wasn't really out of second gear. And I guess I was really just frustrated that I didn't really get to finish the fight how I wanted to be honest. I didn't get to use the energy and use the sort of, oh, we never knew Sonny could box like that. I know it just kind of sounds stupid to people, but I get a lot of my enjoyment out of boxing, like the actual fight, and I don't know, it just felt like getting subbed at half time or something. Just that feeling of just like, so yeah, we won. Like it's mad for a solo sport, an individual sport as boxing is, to feel like, the team won, but I'm unhappy with what went down, and not by my performance. Like, watching it back, it kind of took those negative thoughts away, because I do feel like I boxed well. It reminded me what made me so great and how it looked, and I did enjoy watching it. I know that everyone that supports me would have enjoyed watching it as well. So yeah, it weren't the performance. It was more just I felt like I was boxing very reserved for the reason of the back stretch of the fight. Like I don't know. I feel like once I started going through the gears, I would have got him out of there, and then I would have got my first knockout in like 10 fights. So,
I was just about to say, you referenced there not being able to show everything, and you boxed to instructions, etc. What was coming in the back six? Was it to box to instruction and then we'll start, maybe walking him down kind of thing, start putting your shots together? Like, you had to do that against Bam because of the injury, and it forced you to maybe switch up. But were you hoping to implement that, obviously fully fit, no injuries, no bad eye kind of thing, and sure, look, that weren't just a thing I've done with Bam because I had to. I'm sure I'll do it again.
Yeah, and I feel like the stage was set. I was cooking in my eyes, yeah, in my head, as I'm bouncing around the ring and just making a miss, and every time I wanted to hit him, I was kind of hitting him, and like I weren't forcing things. I was just sort of flowing, trying to make sure I'm winning, and I thought I won every round. I'm asking my corner if he thinks I won every round. He's saying yes, and I said to him going into the 8th, the next couple of rounds I'm not gonna throw much. And when I say that, it's not I'm saying it because I'm tired. He knows I'm saying it because now I'm going to make him tired. I'll start walking him down. I'll only be thinking about defence. I'll be making him fry a lot more, giving him a lot more target, smothering him, like leaning on him more, like, just putting it physical for a couple of rounds. And you don't have to do that by throwing. And then the payoff after that is after someone's bursted their energy. Now they're even more frustrated because they haven't really had... They might have won those rounds, but they're not like usually big rounds from when I'm just focusing on doing that. And then the last 3 rounds, I was going to start letting my hands go. And that's what I was excited for, because someone like Curial, who offers very, very little in the way of head movement or defence or changing anything, he was kind of just trying to walk me down with his hands up, get close enough to like swing like wild, but then put his like head in and wrap me up and just hit me behind my back of my head and my back. Like every time the break went, I got caught with 2 more shots, and I know CompuBox must have counted every single one of them looking at the scores, and I still completely just outscored him. But yeah, I was boxing so reserved that it just felt like, I don't know, I didn't get to show what I'm capable of, I guess, or just get to enjoy the moment, because, you know, it was my biggest stage, it was my biggest event, most people in the crowd, and I was I was getting fueled on the atmosphere, like having that many people like attentive and caring about a fight, even like if they were like whistling and booing and shouting, and every time he had a little bit of success or I got cut, like the whole crowd like roared, you know what I mean? Even if I'm playing the bad guy, like that moment is like literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. So for it to end like that, I was just disappointed, you know, I'll be real.
On the one side of boxing, when you have a fight like you had the previous one against Bam, and there has to be that situation where you have to throw maybe a caution to the wind and walk forward against a guy like him who's pound for pound, chuck him wherever you want in that top 10, incredible fighter. Then you go and have the other fight, and you know you're getting your plaudits for that fight in defeat, and the crowd are sort of cheering you on your way out, and then the next fight you're completely dominating and something happens which isn't your fault, and you can hear the whistling and this, that and the other, and you're thinking, well, it's almost like I'm doing really well. Do you think sometimes you're a bit unappreciated just because of the skill set you do have? You look at the likes of a Shakur Stevenson now, for instance, who's getting a lot of hate because he dominates his fight, maybe wins comfortably, and thinks, I don't have to sort of go into that toolbox just yet. Do you feel a bit sometimes unappreciated?
Nah, because I get it. My style is that of an antagonist. It's not the protagonist. It's not the one getting in there and forcing the action and making it happen. It's the one negating and outscoring and outthinking and outsmarting and cunning it. It's gonna be that. And what people don't realise is when they saw that, like what you just mentioned, you know, I was getting cheered out when I lost, and I was getting like, oh, what effect? It didn't have no effect on me because it's not that. Look in the fight. I'm showboating. The crowd are booing, whistling, and then I'm carrying on. I'm speaking to the crowd like that. Like, I don't mind being the bad guy before, during, after, in the ring. Like, boxing's entertainment, and like I like that. I like that moment. That's the moment that, you know, the crowd speaks to the fight, and the fighter speaks back to the crowd. And my job's to win. It's not to entertain the crowd. It's not to. But I know how to, I don't know, make it so they're not just sat there and just actually completely like dull bored. Like I'm making it a show, do you know what I mean? Even if it's not the show that they want, you know what I mean? Because their home fight is getting styled on. But I actually, you know, that energy makes me smile. Like walking behind the crowds, like behind the curtain just before the ring walk, and just seeing the whole, like, what you can see in the peripheral of the crowd before you get past the curtain, like. That moment is my favourite moment every single time in boxing, and the bigger the event gets, the better that moment is. I'll be real. I just want the fans to feel something when I'm fighting, and yeah, like I said, I turned into a kid really backstage and in the ring. Like boxing does to me sometimes because it's all I've really known, but yeah, I just felt like a kid that didn't get the opportunity, like because I had so much more left and I was about to do what I wanted to do. And with Curial, I genuinely thought I was so much better than him, even bigger than him, stronger than him, that I could have literally just had a back and forth fight and then beat him.
Yeah.
But it's everyone around me's instructions to get back to what you do best and what people can't beat you doing. So I'm trying to find a middle ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Look, you've had 2 back-to-back huge shows in America, that part of the world. How much have you enjoyed going over there, being a part of it? First one against Bam, you had to share the card with Bam this time. What was that like, sort of the interaction between you two? I see you had a picture and stuff like that. You two seemingly shared a great fight, but there's that mutual respect there. You get on with them, don't you?
Yeah, like, just because someone I fight or someone beats me, it doesn't mean I'm just going to instinctively not like them. I'm a competitor. I will always want to do better, but that's by the nature of the sport. If you're not like that, I think you're in the wrong space. I don't mind that someone is in front of me and setting sort of the world alight, really, because it gives me something to proper focus on and to chase and to, you know, try and do better in my own right. But I think he's a great guy. I think he's got a good family. Yeah, and I've got actually a lot more to thank him for than to be angry at him for. Like, because of him, I had a unification fight in America, headlined, massive event. Like the world of boxing sort of stopped and looked at it, and yeah, it's a memory of a lifetime. It took me over to America for the first time and second time, and now third time. I've met people over there that, yeah, I really class as friends, like, and real support. And I don't know. Let me plug my. If you type on YouTube, Sonny Edwards versus Adrian Curial, there's like a 23-minute little movie that was made by a young kid from Arizona, a little boxer from the gym, Coach Junior organised, yeah, and Damien did it, and I mean it's very good, yeah. I'll be real. Let me just be completely honest, yeah. Like, you know, yeah, Coach, yeah, your media guy can come. It was a kid. He's a kid, sorry, so I didn't have the highest expectations, and he didn't, you know, have any mics or anything, didn't have any extra lights or anything, didn't have any, like, time spent with me getting voiceovers, and he somehow turned a fly-in-the-wall camera, one camera, into a little movie that really captures, like, the trip. And yeah, man, big shout out to Damien, did it. He really did that. And yeah, it's on YouTube, on the Hardest Shot YouTube page, and on my Insta and stuff. But it's good though. It's like, if you want to have a little 23-minute, like, it's actually good.
Yeah, 100%. I'll vouch for that as well. I've seen the behind the scenes stuff of it, and to say he's done it all with one camera, it is good for someone who films stuff and creates bits every now and again. That was very good. You mentioned there a little bit about what's next. Lots of talks of Yafai and things like that. What we're saying is that what's next for you once cut's healed and once you get back into things? Is anything certain? What do we know?
My cut's healed. Let's see. Bit of Vaseline on it.
A tiny bit, but
yeah, I'll give it a few more weeks before I get back in camp. But yeah, that's the only fight that's been mentioned.
Is that what you want, or is that just what's been offered?
Yeah, I'll be real, 100%. I've already agreed to my side of the deal. Look, I like Galal. I don't mind saying it. I think he's genuinely a good guy. I've gone with him for years. But he's played I don't know. You know, in Pokemon you have the what's his name? Gary. You know, like, you got your best mate.
Yeah.
That you're battling with. You know what I mean? Okay, was we ever best friends? No, but always a lot of respect there. We sparred a lot. We've trained next to each other on GB, etc. But yeah, he was like the person that GB put in front of me, even though I beat him. Rob McCracken was the head of GB then. He's still the head of GB now, and he's also Galal's trainer still now. You know what I mean? It's kind of everything it needs to be. It's my Olympic gold medal, I'll be wrong.
I was going to say, that's beyond belts. That's the opportunity you didn't get. It stood in front of you to put right.
And I was always the kid that was overlooked in the amateurs. Like, so it kind of finished with Galal, but it definitely didn't start with him. He was just the last one. Like, when you think that me and Harvey had both beaten Galal in consecutive years, and he got straight on and put as number one, like, you know what I mean?
Does that obviously it does stay with you, but is that still, even now with what you've achieved in boxing with world title status, does that still fucking, you know, stay with you kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, with me, anything that made me feel something, especially quite deep feelings, like, yeah. And obviously I put so much effort into my boxing career. Let me just give you a little, if anyone cares still, if anyone's still with us, yeah. I was a 6 times national champion. Okay, I got to 2 finals and a quarterfinals as a schoolboy. I didn't do great as a schoolboy, yeah. But then I quit boxing for a bit, came back, and now I knew I actually wanted to box. Like, I chose to now. And then I went on a 6 title streak that started at the youths and the CYPs and finished at senior ABA title. I even got to another final at the end, and in my opinion, I deserved to win and didn't get it, yeah. But every time I went and won those 6, which was I beat everyone in England consecutively for all those years, I never got sent to anything. Like, they never sent me to like a Worlds or Europeans. Like, I would always get left out of the squad. They would always pick someone else than me, and then the next year I'd go on to beat them. Like, I was always the one. And my brother had the opposite. He would win one national title, and all of a sudden he's European gold medalist. You know what I mean? Like, he just got sent to everything.
How does that work if you're doing all that? Is it judged off other things as well? Yeah. Or why when you're so accomplished, like you're saying, is that happening kind of thing? 'Cause it shouldn't, should it really, in a normal world? If you're achieving what you've saying you've achieved kind of thing, why does that happen?
Well, I'm not lying. I can assure you.
I know what I'm saying is, in an ideal world, you'd think, say, me and you doing X, Y, and Z, you're far more accomplished maybe than I on experience, but regardless, why was it you that wasn't there?
Probably a combination of things. My style was very counter boxer and move. I was always told everywhere, especially like England, GB, it's not going to work. And it did work, and then it's all like, oh, you're actually better than we thought you was. Yeah. So that, I think. 2, I'm not the easiest to coach. I think. I've always got an answer. If I disagree, if they're telling me to do something, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell them I'm not going to do it, and that started at a very young age. 3, maybe, I can't lie, my dad. Shout out to him. I mean, obviously, they got to know him all. Everyone got to know him with how much success my brother had. And my dad's a bit mad, you know, like, I say it a lot here. But, you know, like, sometimes people have, like, them videos and the dad's being a bit mad, you know, like Fighters. Yeah. I'm not going to call anyone out. All I think when I watch that is, oh, you ain't seen nothing. You know, anything I've ever seen of any dad doing would not pale in comparison if I start wheeling my dad out. Pale. Not. Yeah. I might do. I don't think he'd get access to Matchroom shows, though. I don't think they'd give it to him. But, yeah, I think there's a mix of everything and my style, and even though I was winning everything and beating their fighters, there was, like, you know, there were 2 weights. They picked Andrew Kane instead of me. 6 months later, I beat him. Like, just other times, like, Scott Rankin got picked, and then I beat him 3 times in a row. Like, it was just, there was always picking, like, either, like, the fight at the age above or the fight at the age below. And, like, I weren't even getting the chance to fight them or spar them. It was just, in the amateurs, it's more political, really, than even professional. It really is.
So a victory over Galal, in your mind, does that sort of settle demons from the past? Does that sort of tick that box and go, you know what, in my mind, like, that was there, but I'm at peace now knowing you've turned pro, I've got the victory kind of thing, and it'll be on a bigger stage, obviously.
Nah, do you know what? Yeah, it won't be like, because they took away time of my life, yeah, because I'll be real, I genuinely believe that if I got sent to the Olympic qualifiers, not only would I have qualified, I would have went to the Olympics and medalled. I never got the opportunity. The one time they sent me me and Galal got on at the same time. Yeah. I beat him in the semis. I won. We both got on. I beat the GB kid already in the final, yeah. Then we both got on. They sent him, Rob McCracken and the team, when they sit around in a group and go, who are we going to send to this? Now, I weren't injured, nor was I overweight, yeah. They sent him to 5 different outings. 5 times getting flights somewhere, fighting in WSB, like this place, that tournament, this like WSB. And he did quite well. We did well. Yeah. But when you're getting sent to all of these places, you got the opportunity to do well. Now, I'm sat there on the sidelines, going mad, I'll be real, yeah. I was like losing the plot. It's why I hated GB so much, yeah. They sent me to nowhere for like 4 months. Yeah, I didn't get sent nowhere. Well, a person I'd beat, Galal, just happened to be him. Even though I was cool with him, I was never taking it personally on him. It's not his fault, no. You know what I mean? And even then, I thought I was always rinsing him in sparring, so it was always a bit like even the feedback, what the coaches are saying whilst we're all there, it's like, so how am I not getting sent? Like, I was styling on people on GB, I'll be real. Like, I was very competitive there. I was kind of flourishing in that. Like, I love sparring and that up there. Other people, you know, they don't always get up for sparring as much as fights, etc. So to me, nah, like, I just like sparring. I'm happy to be here every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I never got sent. And then the one time they sent me, yeah, I went to Finland, Helsinki, GB's tournament. Now, I was the very, very, very first fight of the whole tournament, yeah? And I got drew against the number 1 seed who'd already qualified for Rio, which was only a 6 month later or whatever, yeah? 4 months later, 5 months later. He qualified through the ABP process, yeah? So he was one of the best in the world. 2013, he was a world champion. I boxed him in 2016. Now, I beat this Kazakhstan kid that had more international wins than I'd thought about having fights.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a hand injury. And now, it makes more sense now to me at an older in age. There was a massive, massive, like, push on make sure Sonny goes straight to the doctor. Now, they knew my hand was fucked, yeah? But, after that win, I definitely should be in prime position to go to the qualifiers. He's not beating anyone like this, Galal. He's done well, but he's not beating anyone like this, yeah? So now, look, I've just showed myself, look, I can't do it. My first opportunity, my first fight, drawn number 1 and beat him. And beat him well as well. And then I had to pull out the next day because my hand was, like, fucking ballooned up, yeah? And the qualifiers was 6 weeks later, yeah? I still wanted to go, but guess what? From landing in London with GB, they got me a car that took me all the way straight to fucking... they organised to go Harley Street or wherever it was, yeah? Somewhere like the other. To go get my hand scanned. And then, your hand's completely ruined. You can't punch with it for all of this time. You're out of the qualifiers now. And now when I'm on GB... Like, I've even got physios not even letting me do stuff that I can do because they're telling me that I can't do it. And I'm saying, no, I can do it. Like, just blew my mind. He went and then he qualified. So, my hands are tied, yeah. But it's like, to me, in my perspective, now this might be complete, like, narcissism on my part. I felt like I was put in a position where I could never really win with them lot. Like, no matter what I was doing in the ring and who I was beating, clearly... It didn't matter to them. There was always like, something. Even though you beat Galal, we're going to send him to 5 things. And then he did quite well, lost a couple of times. Now we're going to send you your first thing all of 5 weeks before the qualifier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so you sent me to my first thing to go and prove myself, but now I got injured. I could have got injured if I did that the first time and come back for the qualifier. Like, I didn't even get a chance. They kept me, imagine, and if I was fighting regularly rather than them shelving me for like 4 or 5 months, I probably wouldn't have got an injury the first time I threw a punch. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I just feel like everything was set up against me and it was just, look, all to this day now, I will be getting in the ring and seeing 3 GB coaches against someone I beat in 2016 before he was on GB and he got favoured over me. Yeah. So, you ask me if I'm being like, I don't know, but I beat him in the amateurs. He got sent to everything. I even got a better win than him. He got sent to everything still. And then I just weren't putting up with it no more. That's why I turned pro so young. I was laughed at. When I turned pro, yeah, the names on the squad, yeah, I'm not even going to name drop because I can't be asked to do that, yeah, laughed at me turning pro. What's Sonny going to do? And it's funny because all the ones that laughed, yeah, they ain't done what I've done yet.
Yeah.
I'll be real. Not one of them. The ones that didn't laugh, the ones that were telling me, the ones that were coming back and going, yo, he's a dickhead, him. He was fucking saying that. The ones that were just straight up, even if they thought I was doing the wrong thing and just told me straight up, but weren't like, oh, what's he going to do? He can't, he's a flyweight. And then I've gone and turned it into something that they couldn't turn up a middleweight career or a fucking cruiserweight career to or a fucking heavyweight career to, do you know what I mean?
I was just going to come on to, because it's interesting you say all that. I know this week you went back to London, went to visit, some roots, went to school that you went to. Do you sort of look back at these moments, like, I know we've sort of gone over it a bit and look and go, you know what, I know that boxing you've not always got time to reflect because it's always what's next kind of thing, and you can't stop still and stand and stare. But you're coming off a long way. Life could have been very different for you, kind of thing, couldn't it?
Yeah, but at the same time, I had the luxury of a dad that fell in love with the idea of having boxing sons from when I was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. So I got a great opportunity to turn that energy and enthusiasm into a life skill and a career and something I passionately enjoy, and I've done so. It could have been different, I guess. Like, anyone's life could have been different, but at the same time, most people's life that looked like mine probably did look like mine. Yeah. Probably more of them than less of them.
I've not personally speak about obviously your dad much, and we don't have to. But how influential has he been for you in terms of boxing and everything else? I know you've just been to see him, but what's that relationship like? How is it in terms of boxing? In terms of, how he's affected your career. And you just mentioned there he's, had the idea of you going pro kind of thing.
Yeah, man. My dad was the vehicle, man. He was the wheels, he was the legs, he was the energy, he was the eating better food as a kid than I do now. He was the, if you do something, you do it properly. Yeah, man. Even though we'd have a more distant relationship than what most people would see normal as their dad, if they live my life, they'd probably understand why. You know what I mean? And my dad never did nothing bad to me. There was never no trauma that my dad gave me, and that I thank him for. But he just treated us like adults from very, very young, in the sense of we was training like full-time pros. Like, yeah, sparring. I'm a kid doing like 12 rounds a night against 5-6 kids, starting from 5 kilos lighter than me to like 10 kilos heavier than me. Like, that was just a normal standard. People used to get annoyed, like the other dads and that. And what's this, the Sonny Edwards show? When I was like 12 years old. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, I'll be real. Like, but he got me addicted to it. You know, he like that enthusiasm and that belief in us.
Yeah.
Like, my dad was telling me and even coaches in gyms when I'm 14 years old that no one can teach him anything about boxing. That's what my dad was saying to me and about me. Like, that was the sort of belief my dad had in me, that at 14 years old, I know more about boxing than anyone in any of these gyms. Like, and don't get me wrong, he rated a few people, and he was training us and that. But yeah, my dad was. We went to about 8 boxing gyms growing up, because really, about 18 months was 2 years when my dad could stay in the same place. You know what I mean? Like, he was falling out of everyone, calling them all cunts. It was like. And he's smaller than me, my dad.
He's what?
My dad's smaller than me, yeah. Just to paint the image, yeah. But he's got some heart, you know. I've seen him going in, firing into people twice his size, yeah. And I think, just the madness and the confidence of it all, like, puts people on their back foot. And I think that's one thing I really realised and learned from this life.
Yeah.
Most people, you just got to step on their toes and bark loud enough. Yeah, my dad's a legend, but he's fucked, man. He's crazy, man. Yeah. He's just so stuck in his ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like that generation. My dad's nearly 70, so he's not like someone's 40, 50-year-old dad. It's a whole different generation. Like, it's like people's grandparents. Like, and who are they like? I got raised by your lot's grandparent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like
different time.
Yeah, for real.
Well, look, I haven't going to go any further. I think that, to me, is it's good to see that side here, and obviously talk about other things rather than just the boxing. Before we go, though, you do manage a lot of fighters, so let's go through all that for the minute. Likes of Giorgio's just got a good victory. Ishmael Davis, I know he's keen to get back out soon. You've got a plethora of fighters, a stable that's building, Brandon Scott, etc. How pleased are you with your stable, and any news kind of thing about any of them? Thomas Essomba as well.
Yeah. So, I need to start. Let me get my phone back round, so I just don't miss anyone.
Yeah.
I've also got my kids as the A and the B. This is like the third one. Just before anyone says like, "Well, that's weird." Like, no. I've also got my kids, but they're on the first two. This is the third one. So yeah, Giorgio, he just won. Yeah. I thought it was a fantastic performance. Because of how high standards he's got of himself. Yeah. The fact that he can remember 2 punches that he had to take, even though they weren't 4 fights, taking 2 clean shots, it's not bad. You know what I mean?
I was in Belfast, watched him ice this kid. He's dangerous boy, like.
Yeah, and that kid he fought was hand-picked and hand-put in the ring, really, because we need to get him some rounds. We need him to get to the end of a fight. We need someone to still be there, otherwise he's going to start believing this is what always boxing is, and we don't need in his first step up it to not be that. You know what I mean? We're just ticking boxes, as you're going through someone's career, and he hit that kid with shots that put the other 3 out of there. You know what I mean? He really did. The body shots he found again multiple times. The counters he found, and if anything, for me, watching him longer in the ring, it was just showing more of a repertoire, more different looks, more finding ways. So for me, right now, I'll be real, as someone that has some influence behind in his career, I want to see him spend as much time in the ring. I do not want to see the knockouts. If he gets him, I want to see him late, last round. No, I want him to keep developing and learning and showing his full repertoire, and really getting comfortable in there. And we all turn him into the best fighter Britain's ever seen. I think he's got that potential. Like, seriously, like, you tell me someone that's really come out of the blocks after and looks as good after 4 fights, and every single fight he's had is a winning record, every single one of them, like, and then not and heavier the last one, not the one he just fought. The one before was the weight above and came in like 3-4 pounds over. Like, Giorgio's Hollywood.
Yeah, well, it could be very much Hollywood in the next few years. Ish.
Yeah, Ish.
He's burst onto the scene and really grabbed his opportunity. I remember, like, we keep reverting back to Newcastle when he fought, but it's gone from there to there to there. It keeps, improving his standing within boxing, and I know, he's an absolute ball ache to find opponents for now, because it's obviously there's that bit in between the sort of the big leagues, and it's who wants to fight Ishmael Davis, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start calling him Moses. All his opponents are partying like the Red Sea. I swear down. Like, I think he's just gonna get emailed a world title at some point.
Email undisputed.
I swear down. Like, there's no one here. Like, you see that Pulp Fiction when it's like,
yeah.
like, where's all the division gone? Oh, we all moved up or down weight quickly. Nah, in all seriousness, Ish is a product of years of hard work, someone hungry and ready to take his opportunity, and someone that sees someone with the best interest for him and then kind of listen to my advice. I'll be real, not trying to put it on me, because it's not everything Ish has done himself and earned himself, but the things he wasn't doing, any highlight of it. Look, you want a promoter to offer you a fight, but you've barely met any of them. You don't know any of them. Mm-hmm. Get down to some shows. Get down to some 5K, some press conferences. Jump him, then introduce him to the interviewers. Get him to do a couple of interviews. He does the interviews. All of a sudden, the next time he's there, like, he's already spoke to everyone. He's had the handshakes, and sometimes that's all it is. They're like the little spark. Now he goes to a show. People want to like, it's not, you interview my fight, Ishmael is coming up. It's now, Ish, can we have 5 minutes? Like, see how quickly it changes. Because, 100%. And one thing about Ish is he's been working with me since November, just before, maybe October. Every fight, any notice, any opponent, he said yes, instantly. And that's not me saying it to sound good, yeah. Genuinely, even right now, I'm sure you heard me on the phone with him just earlier. Mm-hmm. He's accepted a fight at not that long notice. He's accepted. Now, I don't know. Well, I do know, but I don't really want to go into it. No. Too much, because I don't want to put anyone, because the other fighter kind of accepted but injured, etc. So, but frustrating for Ish, because he's ready to go. Yep, you want me there? Then, against him, yes. Not, I want this maybe, or more money, or, he just wants to fight. He just wants to, like, he's addicted to the feeling that his boxing career is on the upward climb, and he's the only thing he's focused on. So, yeah, Ish is a pleasure to work with, and that one I'm already, okay, we've got a long way to go. I think he's got a lot more potential. But when it goes like that, and now there's someone, that's a good run, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, big props to Ish, his whole family. Like, he's got such a big, like, energy behind him in Leeds. Yeah. His birthday, he had a private birthday party. He filled the club like it was a club night.
Was that the Playroom?
Yeah.
I saw the stories. Like.
Yeah, he filled it like it was a club night. But it was all like friends, people showing love, like people that come out to his fights. And I can't wait till we can take him back to Leeds. I cannot wait till we can take him back to Leeds. Mm-hmm. Honestly, like, he will, like, he's a headliner waiting to happen in Leeds. Seriously.
There's a lot of good fighters coming up from this neck of the woods. Look, it's good to see passion you have for your fighters. Obviously, it's away from your active career, you're managing them. What's the best bit of advice you'd give to someone who's just turning pro now, apart from sign with Sonny Edwards?
No, because that might not be the best advice. I think every fighter should, trust their instinct, but at the same time, don't just listen to what people. It's easy to talk it. You know me, I always like to see evidence. I like to see some proof. Like, if you're talking it to me, how many other people have you talked it to? Where are they now? That's probably the one thing I would be asking for, a clear track record, maybe some conversations of vouch, getting opinions that aren't just your own. Because what I see a lot of professional boxers, newly turned professional boxers that is doing, is the first person that made them believe in themselves enough to think about being a professional boxer usually has some big input for the first parts of their career. And it's easy for anyone to do that. And maybe the not so high level ones, like, they'll be good fighters, but they'll have someone, you know, selling them the whole world and what they can do for them, and then, you know, it never materialises, and then they fall out of them, and they're just sat there benched for like 3-4 years on a manager's contract they should never have signed. And every conversation matters in boxing, and everything you sign is like periods of your life gone and periods you won't get back if someone wants to. Like, I could sit here and tell you about multiple fighters that I'm working with that, you know, fell out with the coach that took them from the amateurs and turned them over. All of a sudden, they're not fought for 2-3 years because they didn't want to train with a coach no more. One thing with me is, I will never block a fighter's career. One thing with me is, if a fighter don't want me no more, I don't want them no more. Like, I don't want to be running around being a busy fool. Like, this for me ain't about financial game. It's about legacy. It's about, you know, when you come through, you bring your people with you. That's why I only work with my friends. Like, we only mentioned Giorgio and we only mentioned the Ish, but I've got Brandon Dayward, I've got Brandon Scott, Thomas, getting to him, my champ Thomas Essomba, who's got, you know, a very, very exciting fight, all but ready to pull the trigger on. I'm also very excited about young Ed Hardy as well, who's having his debut soon. That's all going to get announced real soon. He's had a frustrated period of time, but, you know, when you look at the big picture, him having like an extra like 9-10 months of being a full-time professional boxer, even though he hasn't fought yet, because he had to, you know, do some like medical stuff behind, you know, like I have to, a couple of extra hoops to jump through, and it takes months to get all them done sometimes. But now he's got everything lined up. He's got his deal ready to announce as well. I mean, I'm excited about him. You know, farm boy Ed Hardy, got the best name in British boxing.
Just needs the deal to go with it, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then my other fighter, Nikolai Campbell, he got his win on the same day that I fought, and you know, got the knockdown. Was meant to have a maybe tougher opposition, but no fault of his own. The opponent tried changing the weight by like 7-8 pounds 2 weeks out or something, 3 weeks out. So, like, as much as we want good competitive fights and that, and he did have one, bear in mind, he had a fight that came to win as well, and didn't have exactly have like a ridiculous record or anything like that. It was just, it was not the fight that he wanted, but he got the win. And the whole team's moving strong. It's good.
Can we talk about Thomas Essomba's next move? I know nothing's announced, but it's been fairly widespread about what we think's going to happen. Can we talk about his potential next fight against Charlie?
Well, I don't know what's taken him so long, right? It's the fight we want. You know, Thomas thinks Charlie's avoided him for a long time.
What's the delay?
I would love to know. You got to remember, I'm, you know, Sonny Essomba for this fight.
You're in a bit of a pickle. Well, I suppose you're in a bit of a pickle, aren't you? Be honest, because he's your brother at the end of the day.
All I'm saying is, if you don't beat Thomas, then he can't ever say he's better than me again. Really, he can't. Like,
not this again. Come on. You two sent me fucking through hell and back with these back and forth interviews.
Why? Getting views?
It spun my head massively. But go on.
Yeah, but do you know what? Like, you know, because nothing really matters in this world, and people only have like a short opinion while they're thinking of it or talking about it, and then they go back to their whatever life is, whatever their other everyday life is. Like,
how are you going to manage that fight? Like, as in, met the fight, but then you're going to stand opposite corner in the ring, you know, clapping it while your brother stood across, cheering on Thomas. Are you going to sit by the side of the ring? I know promotional stuff, expect stuff, but when it gets down to it,
look, who wins isn't up to me. The first bell will start, and the fight will go. That's if we get it over the line. Like, look, we're still waiting. So, until it's done, until you've seen a poster, then, like, is the fight happening? Who knows? Like, it's what we want. It's what the champ wants. He's got a voluntary defence that he earned by clearing his mandatory last time against Eli Conky, and he's chosen my brother. Fair enough. Like, he's the champ. He knows what he wants. And the opportunity, if it gets over the line, I can only imagine it'll be a Channel 5 headline. It's a great opportunity for them both.
Yeah.
So I can live on both sides of my personality for this fight.
Yeah.
But the one promise I have, to all my fighters, that I will 100% manage them.
Yeah.
And now my brother had a window where he could have asked me to manage him, but his ego probably would never have allowed it. You know what I mean?
That wouldn't work either which way, would it? Surely you managing him or him managing that. I can't ever imagine that ever happening. 'Cause you're both so competitive with each other.
And that's where you don't see who I really am off camera. Because even when me and my brother didn't like each other, I was still having a positive influence on his life.
Yeah.
I was still making sure that just because now we're having a disagreement, I'm not taking him out of things that I probably could, but would be very dick moves. You know what I mean? Like, say if I started moving like that, that would have been me as a bad person. Like, but no matter what I think and like what the actual truth is about mine and my brother's relationship at any given time, like we might not necessarily be saying that on camera. What the actual truth of our relationship is. Look, me and my brother are very competitive, and that's why we're so good at what we do. That's why we're this far. That's why people have heard of us. That's why people know. Flyweights, man, no one cares. We made people care.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's had a bit of a hiatus from boxing, not for a few things behind the scenes and a few bad probably choices of his own, in my opinion. But he's still very good at what he does. People know him, and I feel like this is a great opportunity for them both. It's the fight that Thomas wants. It's the fight that Charlie wants. I'm not going to start, denying people opportunities because of what this is a bit awkward for me. Like, it is what it is. This is boxing, This is what happens. And I'm looking forward to it, though. And like I said, I will never half-heartedly represent one of my fighters. But no, I would have done the best job for my brother. If anything, like, I'm not going to go too much, but, I set up the coffee date with Nissa. You know what I mean? That.
Yeah. Did you ever have a discussion to say, look, why don't I take you, why don't I manager? Did you ever have that? Did you ever offer that olive branch? Because it's, I suppose, your relationship when you offer another fighter, it'd be different because you prefer. I suppose it's like, look, I could do this, but it's up to you.
Nah, in all seriousness, like, if my brother asked, I would do what I do for any other fighter. Because I give my best to their fighter, so I would give the best to my brother. It'd be no different. But my brother's got that kind of me in me anyway. So if my brother wants to ring me and ask for advice on something, he can. If he needs help, I'll give it to him. I know I'll have a little banter and back and forth, but that's, I don't know, how we communicate, I guess, sometimes. And look, my brother's doing very well for himself. He's maybe take a slightly different route, but I'm very proud of him. The life he's given to my niece, the experiences, and I'm glad that he's back doing what we love. At some point, I think it was what I love, but the difference is with me and my brother, he had the emotion that I had at like 14, 15, leaving boxing and then realizing that I needed it and coming back. And it was a lot easier for me to do it because when I did it as an amateur, you just wait for the next championship and you're back in. You just enter. But when you do it as a pro and you jump out for a bit and you're not 100% sure, but then you're trying to get back in, all of a sudden the conveyor belt's moved and maybe you've upset a couple of relationships that you didn't have to because of whatever reason, and then now it's a little bit harder. I think he's in the best place now, and I think him being self-managed, it's probably smart for him. And look, he knows that I'm never gonna turn my back on my brother. He knows that, and we probably wouldn't need to ever take it there. But in a fight where he's fighting my fighter, I'm in the ring. And I'm in one corner. You know what I mean?
Let's see how this all pans out. I'm looking forward to the build-up to that fight. Sonny, I appreciate giving us a lot of your time. Obviously, off camera as well. Inviting us here, and we'll catch up again soon, hopefully.
Well, it was meant to be in the gym, but after me slating you for you wanting to do it at 2 p.m,
No, do you know why I did that? Because I thought, you've just had a fight. In all honesty, I thought, he's probably having a week just to chill. He might not be getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, I might do something in the morning beforehand. And then when you were like, it's a bit late, I was like, whatever time you want.
Yeah, and then I woke up just like 15 minutes before I had to be at the gym, and I forgot. Like, in the time I had woke up, I didn't remember until I saw your message, if I'm being completely honest. But, like, not to be disrespectful, but, like, in the grand scheme of things of my life, like, remembering an interview, like, I don't remember, like, more important things.
I think I've messaged you the day before.
Yeah.
Literally saying, look, 2 p.m, are we good? I'm just checking. Because if not, you know, as much as, it's fine.
That's smart of you, because if you didn't do that, then I would have had even less. I probably wouldn't look at my phone. I probably would have been like, what does he mean? And just.
I've been fuming, I'm not gonna lie.
But remember, in my defence, I've recently had my head split open, so I don't know much, but I know that's probably not very good for your memory.
Yeah.
Probably not very good.
No, well, look, we made it happen. I appreciate it. Catch up soon. Yep, thanks for giving us the time.
Yeah, no worries.